Hello everyone and welcome to CBS New Radio. Today I'd like to tell you a crazy story that happened on the night of April 3rd to May 1, 2023, which is the night that just happened. I hope you don't think I'm crazy, but I had a dream that I was interviewing my great-great-grandmother who fought during the temperance movement and prohibition. Doesn't that sound crazy? But she collaborated and was very close to Eliza Thompson, the main partisan of temperance. An exciting time for the Americans, but especially incredible for the women and rather surreal for the men who lived it. So, I'm going to share with you everything she told me during that night, because what's crazy is that I remember everything she told me word for word. So my colleague Anna is going to play Margaret Jensen, who is, I remind all listeners, my great-great-grandmother. Hi Margaret, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you, Mary?
I'm doing great, thank you, Margaret. So first of all, we are going to start with the question that a lot of young girls ask themselves these days, and that I used to ask myself when I was a teenager. When did the process of women's emancipation in society take place, and how did it happen?
Women have become emancipated at the end of World War I. They started to change their appearance, they cut their hair into bobs, they wore makeup, and they started to wear more revealing clothes. They also changed their behavior. They began smoking, drinking, and dancing with men in speakeasies. As they were gaining liberty, people called them flappers, which was an insult at first, but these women reclaimed it to show that they were revolted, that they were rebellious, powerful, and audacious. They were called that way during the period that is known as the Roaring Twenties.
I'm sure that all your listeners know the Roaring Twenties, which is the period of carefree and economic growth of the USA through technical and scientific advances. We can take as an example the Industrial Revolution in the automobile industry, with the marketing of the 40, which was sold in more than 15 million copies, which symbolized world economic prosperity of the USA during the 1920s. Let's come back to you, Margaret. Can you explain to us what was the feminist fight of women at that time?
Yes, of course, at the same time, there was a feminist fight to get more independent in the society and to obtain the right to vote. They obtained it in with the 19th Amendment in 1920, if I remember well. This was helped by the fact that they were start work during the First World War, which gave them more freedom as well. They threw away the conservative norm in order to find a place in the society other than staying home.
Thank you, Margaret. Now we are going to talk about prohibition from 1920 to 1933, a period during which an amendment to the US Constitution prohibited the manufacture, transportation, sale, import, and export of alcoholic beverages. Can you tell us more about the illegal marketing of alcohol?
Yes, in my memories, during and after Prohibition, the price of the alcohol rose and people start to sell more concentrated liquor in replacement. Saloons and restaurants served substitutes to the customer, while a black market developed. Bootleggers, who sold alcohol illegally and with high price, flew to Canada to buy Canadian liquor. Meanwhile, farmers who had always created alcohol began to expand the businesses. People drank this illegal alcohol in private clubs and speakeasy because it was safer. It allowed them to drink discreetly. Moreover, the police and bartender found an agreement. Some of the policemen accept to let people drink in the clubs. Furthermore, something was new at the time. Women were accepted because it permitted the clubs to be less suspicious to the policemen, and thanks to them, there was less violence.
Thank you again for this beautiful testimony, Margaret. Now I would like to ask you if you can describe the Women's Crusade in 1873.
Yes, I can. The crusade was a baptism of power and liberty because it was the first time a woman named Elizabeth Stewart launched an appointed non-violent movement fighting against the danger of alcoholism. Before, they used to stay at home to take care of the household and fear the violence of their husband. But with this movement, they left the house in order to let their voice be heard during demonstrations in the streets. They confront what they fear, drug men, right in front of their territories. They showed their courage and strength where it was needed, thus they demonstrating their power and freedom. With this movement, they fought to be considered and has more important place in the society.
Alright, now I would like to know what was the motivation of women in the fight to get rid of alcohol completely. Why did they want to ban it so much?
In fact, women were motivated by the fact that alcohol worsened domestic violence, so they committed to the temperance movement to protect themselves and their children. Men develop unstable behavior which could lead to their employment as a consequence. They could enter a vicious circle that will reinforce their addiction. They want to promote religious value which would also contribute to the protection of their families. The last argument in favor of this movement was that women struggle to make ends meet. They depend on their husband to make money to the household, but they had to quit their position of simple housewife in order to work and bring money as well. Consequently, they gathered and joined the temperance movement and the women crusade. This movement resulted in the empowerment of women. It became the most powerful female movement at the end of the 19th century.
Very well, thanks you a lot, Margaret. I finally understood why they wanted to ban alcohol. Now for the last question. If I'm not mistaken, you were the close friend and collaborator of Eliza Thompson, another figure of the crusade who pushed the crusade by going to salons and praying and asking the owners to pledge to stop selling alcohol.
Yes, indeed, that's right. I worked with her on various protests against the sale of alcohol in 1874.
That's crazy. That's why I'm asking you, what was her trigger and her motivation to participate and defeat such a movement?
I knew Eliza Thompson very well. She was my best friend back then. To answer you, Eliza experienced the bad side of alcohol as her eldest son became addicted to his alcohol prescription given by his doctor. Consequently, he died to his addiction. So, this was her motivation to protest against alcohol and to take part in the temperance movement. Her husband agreed to this cause, but he wasn't in favor of women marching in the streets. A crusade is a war led to spread the ideas of Christianity. The movement led by Lisa, the Women Crusade, was named that way because they were going from place to place in order to spread the idea that alcohol should be banned. They led a war against alcohol. The abuse of alcohol was also considered almost like a sin. Moreover, the movement started with women going to church together and they knelt in front of saloon and prayed. Men were not ready to let women stand for themselves and their ideas. Their interactions were conflictual because they were opposed. They drenched them in beer and threw them in the snow. They even threatened them with cannon and firefighter spread them with water.
Now we know much more about Eliza Thompson. Thank you so much, Margaret, for this again very well explained testimonials.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations for remembering so much about these fantastic times and for your commitment and fight when you were only 20 years old. Thanks you to all the listeners for listening to us this morning. Have a great day and see you tomorrow.